Right, boys and girls, in front of us are lots of little creatures on a slide and some people. Now I'm going to show you something that I've got in front of me, and I'm going to try and show you the link between the creatures, the people, and what I'm showing you. So I've got a bag of string beans, right, which fall into the vegetable family. I've got a potato, I've got carrots, I've got an apple and a banana, which is part of the fruit family. I've got some nuts over here, right? Some almonds. And then tonight we're going to have a little braai. I've got some chops. And now you're going to say to me, why are you showing me all this food, teacher Irene? And I'm going to show you why. So some animals and humans fall into the group where we eat both fruit and vegetables and plants, and we also eat meat. And we are called omnivores. Can you say omnivores? Omnivores. Right, now the slide in front of you, as you can see, boys and girls, there's some birds, there's a turtle, there's a strange looking animal with a very long nose, there's a gorilla, a bear, a raccoon, a gecko, some type of fish. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about what each of those creatures eat, but the thing they all eat meat and little berries or plants in nature. So we've already discussed carnivores that eat meat only, herbivores that only eat plants, and now we're going to discuss animals in nature that eat both. And we are called omnivores because some people, well, most people eat plants and meat and fruit and berries and nuts. So we also fall into the group of omnivores. Let's have a look at our toucan, boys and girls. Now our toucan is a bird, a beautiful bird with a very strong beak, and he loves to eat figs and oranges. He eats guavas and berries, but he also likes to eat little insects that he finds along the way in the forest. And he's quite sneaky. He will even go and steal eggs from another bird's nest and eat the little eggs from a bird's nest. Then we look at our little second frame, and that's a gecko. Now geckos love to eat little crickets, spiders, little grasshoppers, but if they can't find any of those things to eat, they don't mind eating some fruit and berries along the way. Then we have a very strange looking fish. He's almost got like a moustache, and that's called a catfish. Now catfish eat small snails and insects. They eat algae and plants that are also found in water, in their habitat, which is water. Then we go on to little raccoons. They look very, very cute, but these little guys actually aren't very fussy eaters. They'll eat lots of different things. So often they'll even go through garbage, look at what they can find in garbage, but they love to eat things like crayfish and frogs, little fishies, snails, and nuts and seeds that they also find in their forest that they live in. After our raccoon, we have our turtle. Now, our turtle is also not a very fussy eater. So turtles love to eat worms and snails, and they even like to eat little caterpillars at times, any mushrooms and flowers that grow in the area, and berries as well. Then we have our little strange looking creature. Now in South Africa, that's called an aardvark. In other parts of the world, he's called an anteater. So that's obviously easy to imagine. He loves to eat little ants and termites, but he's also happy to eat berries and fruit along the way. Then we've got a very, very large creature. That's a gorilla. And a gorilla, even though he looks so big, his favorite meal is actually plants and berries and fruit, but he doesn't mind eating little insects and little ants and termites also along the way. And then we have our grizzly bear. Now bears are quite happy to eat very small animals that they find, but they love fish, and they also of course eat lots of berries and fruit and roots and plants and bamboo shoots and stems along the way. Right, and that brings us to people. Now, as I showed you in my kitchen, those are just a few things that we like to eat as a family, and I'm sure that you all have different things that you like to eat at home, different fruit and vegetables, nuts and meats that you prefer. Now, boys and girls, when we look at omnivores, the structure of their teeth is quite specific because they need teeth to cut the meat. And they also need teeth at the back here that grinds the food down and makes it easier for them to swallow, go into the tummy, and different enzymes digest it, and then they use the good food to keep the body going. And remember, whatever we don't need, whatever we don't use in our bodies, we're able to excrete. So obviously animals excrete in nature, and we go to the toilet and excrete. Right, so just by looking at our frame, right at the top, the little red rectangles, we've got meat and berries and some plants that we can eat. And that's the main thing that you need to remember of omnivores. Omnivores eat both meat and they also eat plant-based food. Right. Thank you for listening along, and I hope you enjoyed that. So now you've just found out if you eat meat and plants and fruit, you're called an omnivore. Let's say it together, omnivore. Thanks for watching.